Hello, good morning. Okay, let's wait a little bit for people to join. And then we can start. Okay. Perfect, Laura. I'm not sure if we have more people on the waiting room or should we start, I guess.
Let's start, Isa.
Perfect. Correct. So welcome everyone to our last webinar that is related to the BonsAPPs open call. You know, that's the opportunity for the adopters open call where you can get up to 74,000 euro and support in developing the AI solution. So today is the final webinar. You will see that, I mean, of course, I'll make some introduction for all of you, like in case you need like short resume of the concept, but I believe, I mean, we organized this webinar mostly like to solve the final doubts, because as you know, the deadline for the open call is on the next Wednesday, on the 2nd of November at 5 p.m. Brussels time. Okay, so today the main goal is that we gathered the top Q&A, I would say, okay, for the top questions that were asked to us during this open call. And also at the end, I plan to pass through the evaluation criteria. So if you were writing the proposal, you can see what you can pay attention to. And then we will have also some time for Q&A, but as I think we're not that many, we're 7 participants. So I would like to take the advantage of that, okay, and also like allow you, if you have any doubts or questions, please raise your hand and I will stop and we can discuss actually directly on the go. Okay, so if we are 7, I think we can organize ourselves like this. Of course, you can also use the chat if you don't want to turn on your microphone or camera, but basically I will like go one by one per questions that we think are important. And then you can ask after each question, no, for about your doubts. And also, while the housekeeping rules, this webinar is recorded. Okay, so please be aware of that. And of course, after the webinar, we will publish the summary of it in our AI community. In case you haven't joined yet, we invite you to do so, to get updates not only about this opportunity, but also about other AI funding opportunities where Funding Box is involved with. So with no further delay, starting from the BonsAPPs introduction, for those of you that like it's the first time you hear about it, you know, we are part like of a big picture that is this ICT 49 group that aims to help SMEs to digitalize with implementation of AI. Okay, so this is like the big goal of the group of projects that were founded under this topic. This is Horizon 2020 funded project. And BonsAPPs will do this digitalization, okay, in the support of SME through or by creating the AI as a service for deep edge marketplace. So basically marketplace for the deep edge. Okay, so we are 8 partners from different countries. Some of us focus on the technology sides and development of the platform, like HSO, BCA, or VISO. And some of us specialized in open calls. So here, that's why I'm represent Funding Box. Actually, I didn't present myself, that I'm Izabela Zrazinska, the senior project manager, and I'm also head of the AI Hub, where we are actually supporting these AI solutions for different funding opportunities. So Funding Box is leading this open call with support of the technical partners that, of course, help us to define technical requirements. And also we have like business partners like EASD that is supporting the exploitation of the results and the business side of the selected applicants. So for this open call, you will see also that we have already organized the first open call. This is the second edition. That is totally different. Okay, so they are connected, but they are different. If you might have heard about last year opportunity, because last year we were looking for the researchers, for AI developers. So we actually were able to gather a big ecosystem around it. And those AI talent, how we call them, were directly involved in development and integration of the edge solutions to the BonsAPPs marketplace. So that is, they created like kind of a base, okay, and the resources that will be now reused for developing AI solutions in the second open call that is concentrated on the SMEs. Okay, we call them adopter SMEs. So basically, we are looking for the companies that will define the challenge that will allow development of the AI solution that could reuse the resources made in the previous open call. Okay, so I see in the chat. Okay, there is no questions. So for the benefits, well, we'll select up to 11 we call them use cases or adopter SMEs. Okay, those that will define the challenge. That will enter 6-month support program. Okay, so we expect the program to start in February with stage 0, when you will be like defining or fine-tuning, I would say, the challenge from your proposal, preparing the plan for the support, and then really working with these AI experts that you get access to. Okay, so from the funding that is 74,000, it is divided to the direct grant that you will receive for your involvement in the program. Okay, so for personal costs, travel costs, and so on. We'll get into the details today of that. And then also there's part of the budget that can be dedicated to contracting the AI experts that we have validated around the BonsAPPs marketplace, and also high computing resources that are needed for these tasks. Of course, we have this strong focus on BonsAPPs marketplace development. There will be full support of the team from BonsAPPs Association and other technical partners in using these tools and like defining better on how you can take advantage of what has been created. And then also at the last stage of the program, when the solutions are already a bit more mature, EASD will support you with business mentoring, okay, to scale this AI solution that also, what is important, can be commercialized. The support program and the funding. Here is the role of the adopter, just to like repeat in short what's the role and what's the applicant. Okay, so basically these adopter SMEs that are applying to the second open call define the use case, we call it also challenge, okay, for the AI attached solution that could support their processes. They receive the funding to contract the external services, and they are also those that should provide the data for the AI training. Okay, so this is important for the developing the solution. Then another stakeholders involved will be these AI talents and HPC providers. These are external services that we are validating through another online form. Okay, so it's already been done since 1 year. So that is why we have now a big pool of providers that are waiting for the adopters to be selected and to get engaged and start working with them. And then we have this BonsAPPs marketplace resources led by BonsAPPs Association, with which we will help you and as the outcome to create the AI attached solution. Just in short, how to apply. I mean, I hope all of you that you're already here now that you should sign up to the funding box, open the application form by clicking apply now. And what is very important, remember to read guide for applicants and frequently ask questions. But This, I guess, you already know. So getting to the top questions and answers that we got during the open call, you will see they're from different topics, some more technical, some more administrative. So, and as I mentioned, please do not hesitate to write your questions in the chat as well. So we will try to solve them also at the end. So the first most common question was related to the bonsai's marketplace itself. Okay, so so there were many questions how these adopter SMEs can check the tools that are now available on bonsai's marketplace and how they can reply to one question that is in the application form. So just like to see the genesis of this open call, so you know that I already mentioned that adopters SMEs need to propose the challenges that will bring the AI solutions that will to some extent reuse the AI solutions that currently appear on bonsai's marketplace. So that brought some questions. And that is why there is already the bonsai's marketplace beta version that is published, okay? But as the support, as you know, and I already mentioned this first open call where we were developing some AI solutions and assets. So these things still needs to be published on the beta version. Okay, so there is already some content that allows you to see how the bonsai's marketplace works. But it is important to know that, of course, when the program will launch in February, there will be much more content and available for the SMEs, and the team will also help you to match with this. Okay, so it is always good to, well, this is very recommended to try to reflect on that in the application form if you already have found something that you can reuse. But you just to calm down that this will also be part of the support now and work when you are selected to try to help you with that. So for sure, check beta version of it. And then in order to cover, I mean, until the time when all the resources will be published on this beta version, we have created this catalog that I think it's very important to read before you apply, because that is where you can see everything what we have now and what will be published until February. And what is important there, you can also see, I mean, there are two sections. One, the general one for more tech savvy users with the description of the elements included on bonsai's marketplace. And then there is a second part where you can see what was developed in the first open call. So I believe these use cases will also help you to understand some aspects. So you see that, for instance, we had the defect detection challenge in manufacturing. So you can read what was done, and you can, based on that, maybe you can reuse or think on what you could use for your developing your solution. We had some questions. Okay, so can we start something totally from the zero? Yes, it is possible, although, as I mentioned, our main goal is to reuse what is already available. And that is because, well, we only have 6 months, okay, to develop the AI solution and to support selected adopters. So this is very, very short time. And that is why reusing as much as possible is recommended, okay? So that is why we're putting a lot of effort to try to explain the bonsai's marketplace and what is available. And this is actually also, I would say, the key to writing the winning proposal, to try to reflect as much as you can to from the materials that are now available. And as there was a big need also to get the explanation on the bonsai's marketplace, and we have organized the second webinar when Miguel de Prado has presented, make an online demo of the bonsai's marketplace. So if you want, you can also go back to this webinar video and watch it. Okay, so this is also another material that we made available to help to understand this aspect. And I think Laura has shared, yes, the link to the summary of this webinar. So you're more than welcome to check this. So that was for the bonsai's marketplace element that we got some doubts in. Then we had another one related to the data sets, also to the IP. So there were some questions if it's mandatory to actually use the data sets that are in catalog, and what's about the licenses, will it be open source, or do the applicants need the license? So here, the clarifying points that, of course, the data sets that are available can be used, okay? And as I mentioned, it will speed up the process because they are all well documented. For now, we have like 43 unique data sets, okay, that are like containing the repository, that provide the extensive explanation on it, so the initial data model, and also includes some examples. So it's really useful like to speed up the work because that was already prepared. So we invite you to check them. They are listed in the catalog, but of course you can also use your data sets. So new data sets can be used, that should be suggested no by the SME, but or well, you at least should make sure that that you have access to that and that you can use that. And this the license of the data sets available in the catalog depends on the data itself. Okay, so it depends on the data provider if they publish it as the open source or commercial. And here is the question also that these license terms of resulting AI models that you will develop during the process will be the subject of the data being used. So like summarizing a little bit everything what I said, there are the commercial data, non-commercial data. It can be those that are used on the already published on BonsAPPs marketplace that are also divided to commercial and non-commercial, but there could be also data that the adopter will bring to the project. So if this will be if we're talking about no commercial data, then we are talking about open source licensing agreement. Okay, so this is usually the standard. And then if we're talking about commercial data, which we receive most of the questions, then it is important if the AI solution is built on another party's proprietary data, then it is important to make sure that you are granted rights to exploit them and commercialize. That is because, well, the ultimate goal of the BonsAPPs marketplace is also like to create this community where you can actually, where data sets and solution can be commercialized so that people can also actually earn money basically on that. So it will be important like to make sure like to also make the solution scalable later on, that you will be able to to reuse the solution or to sell it, even though the data with the proprietary's data allowance. So this is important. And also interesting tip, I mean, the grant can be used to obtaining the necessary commercial license rights, okay, for the data. Okay, but of course you need to calculate that the grant should be also used for your personal costs, for involvement, for travels. So you have to calculate it wisely to not use all the grant to buy the data, but there is such an option that you might want to consider. And that is for the data. Then we had also some questions about the challenge sector. Because some of you have noticed that we have, like in the first open call, we were focused on robotics, manufacturing, and automotive. So many applicants were asking us if they can suggest any kind of solutions from energy sector, tourism. There were like very diverse suggestions. And the answer is yes, okay, but of course, you need to have a look on these resources that we created in first open call. Okay, so here you can see actually the challenges. Just for your information, in first open call, challenges were defined by industry leaders. So we had like a special workshop where we asked big companies to tell us what are their needs for the AI solutions, and these are those that were defined and predefined and published. Okay, in the second open call, we are looking for the SMEs that will define these solutions. But so there is no limit for a sector. We are really looking forward like to see on how the resources that are now available can be applied to the different sectors. But of course, again, like you need to take into account that probably like reusing the resources that were created for the automotive challenge might be quite difficult for like totally abstract or different sector like marketing or tourism. But of course, it's not possible. So we are very looking forward to see these options. So we are just saying that it's much easier to to try to be within the same sectors, because then for the similarity, it's easier to reuse these resources, but it is not limited. Okay, this is important. You are more than welcome to suggest any kind of challenge. And here, once again, I invite you to read this section 1 of Bonsai's marketplace catalog, where all the 10 challenges are described in details. Then we also received some questions like about the AI talents. So I already mentioned that we have a grant for the that goes directly to the adopter SME, and there is part of the grant that you receive for contracting external services, and these are these AI talents. So we got some we got some applicants that they already have identified the specialists, now the AI developer in their ecosystem that they want to contract if they get selected, and they were already asking us if how they can like write it in the application. So these AI talents, also just like to give you the bigger picture, they will be like the matching with the selected adopters will be made at the beginning of the process. Okay, so selected adopter SMEs will publish the challenge in the first month, publish the challenge on Bonsai's marketplace, and we will help you to match with the AI talents. So we have now more than 180 AI talents available, from which you can select, but of course you are more than welcome to suggest your AI talents. The only requirement for that would be that such an AI talent has to like pass through this validation that is very easy online form that you can see here below. So in case you have someone that you would like to contract later on, you can invite them to submit their candidature there, and then we have a very simple process when we review the minimum criteria and they are validated and they become a pool of our AI talents available in the process. And how to include this in the application form? Well, there is in the implementation section, we ask you to like tell us what kind of AI talent profiles you will need. So that is also like will help us to actually prepare the support program with advance. But if you have someone already specific, you can just add them in the other, okay, and then you can just put the name and surname. But also, well, if you can also in other include like general description of the profile that might not be covered with one of the multiple choices, but that will be also helpful for the future. For if you get selected, we already know who you want to be matched with. No? Okay, I think that we don't have raised hands, so I'll continue. So like how you can use the grant. Okay, I already mentioned some parts of it. So in frequently asked questions, you will see how the grant is divided. Okay, so it is important to remember that this 74,000 that we like announce as a total, it's paid in the tranches. Okay, so in stage 0, you agree with your mentor on the plan of your AI solution development. We match you with the AI talent, so everything is agreed and customized, okay, to your plan. And then once the use case plan is ready, we release the first tranche. Okay, so we review if that everything is correct, and then at the end of each stage, there are 2 stages in this support program. We review the KPIs if they were achieved, and if they were, then we release the payment. If they were not achieved, the selection committee decides either you can get the extension, or either if there is no will to collaborate, then you are out of the program. Okay, so these payments are like to make sure that actually what was suggested in the proposal is actually achieved. So at the end, after 6 months, you can receive up to 74,000 in total. What is also important is that I already mentioned a few times that the grant is divided in direct grant. We call it lump sum. Okay, so I will explain later what's this. And then we have the vouchers. Okay, so for contracting AI talents and for contracting HPC resources. So starting from lump sum, because this is direct money, basic rules for both lump sums and vouchers. So of course, all the money is for the execution of the project. Okay, so this is important to remember. The costs must occur during the support program, okay, that is expected February, July. And that we will ask you on the application level, you don't need to provide us details about the budget, but remember that if you get accepted in the individual use case plan, we'll ask you to plan it like per stage. Like to tell us on the initial plan on how you plan to spend this money. And for this 27,000, that is lump sum. Okay, so this is to cover your personal costs of people that are engaged, that will be, for instance, consulting AI talents that you will use for reporting to the BonsAPPs. So everything related with the engagement of the people that are contracted in your company. Then, of course, purchase of goods or services, for example, commercial data sets that I mentioned. I repeat, only those that are related to execution of the action. This is important, okay? And then travel costs, if needed. We'll probably organize some hackathons also to make more networking and to get to know each other. And then subcontracting, that is maximum 15% of the budget, because of course, if you're the one that is applying, the company that gets the grant should be the one that is executing the work. Okay, and having into account the vouchers and external contracts, it does not have much sense to subcontract. Anyway, we have to mention that it's possible. And what is important with lump sum? So you will see during the program, we will not ask you, we'll only ask you like to tell us on how you plan to spend it, but during the project, we will not focus on that. So you're not obliged to present us documents from the accounting, invoices on how you spent this 27,000. Okay, the important for us is that you demonstrate that you implement the project correctly. So these are these milestones where we will review your progress, but we will not ask you for the invoices or timesheets or whatever. But of course, just to mention that in case there is an audit in the future, you need to be ready like to justify this cost. So for simplicity of the process, we do not review it, but we always warn that it does not release you from the obligation to collect documentation because this is still the European grant. And then we also have vouchers that, it's up to 39,000 euro for contracting AI talent. So this is the biggest chunk of the grant. So here, this is important because basically you will be able to select the AI talents, as already mentioned, from the pool of validated experts. You will just contract them directly. And then, well, according to you just sign the service agreement and contract with them. We don't interfere in that. We just need the document that it has been done, the contractation. And then at the end of each stage, you will report to us on like how much money is paid to the AI talents. And then we'll do we call it reimbursement. So we'll pay you back of the amount that was paid to the AI talent for their services. And same applies for the HPC providers. Okay, so this is how vouchers works, a bit different than lump sum, and that it's more like a reimbursement way of financing. And that's it from the main questions. I don't know, I still have a session about like how to write the winning proposal. So we can pass through the main criteria, okay, or for the external evaluation. But before that, I'm sure if there are any questions to what I present. Well, unmute yourself or raise the hand. If not, I will continue then. Okay. I think we don't have questions, Laura, right? Or did I miss something when presenting? I see Violetta is unmuting herself.
We don't have any questions. Maybe also if they want to submit it in the chat, is another option.
Okay, perfect. So once again, feel welcome to write your questions in the chat. And then I will continue with the external evaluation. So like how to write the winning proposal, although I guess also through these questions and answers, you already got some idea. So what is the key? I mean, the selection process is based on eligibility check that is like automatic cutoff based on some criteria like country, eligibility of country or minimum maturity level. Okay, so that is based on what you mark in multiple questions. But what is the key when writing the proposal are these three sections. that have an open questions that will be read by two experts. Okay, I mean, each proposal will be read by two external experts. This is important. They are independent to the BonsAPPs consortium. They are, of course, trained and aware about the criteria, but still they are experts in the industry. And they will evaluate these three aspects that I wanted to comment on. And based on the ranking established after this phase, the BonsAPPs consortium will make the final decision. Okay, so that is why I will focus only on this stage because it's the most important one. So in the excellence, you will see there are many multiple questions, but there are three main criteria that you should focus on. The one is the innovation. So there is a question about the AI maturity and the knowledge of your of the edge technologies. So if you have any experience on that, that is why, because like the minimum maturity level is required. Okay, so we have this AI aware as a minimum. There is an answer that is AI unaware. That means that you will not be eligible. And what's the difference? So basically, the AI unaware applicant is someone that has not any idea on how AI can actually improve their process, okay, or their business. So such an applicant would need the detailed assessment on like how AI use case could actually be created. So these are not eligible, right? So you at least you need to like have an idea of how AI that solution can be beneficial or what can create the use case in your company. That is why there is this minimum filter. But then, of course, we have also AI ready. So those that have an AI competent. So these are the companies that even might have some expertise, or we can call them tech savvy, okay, but they do not have resources. So sometimes it might happen that you have a knowledge, but you do not have enough people to hire. Okay, this happens to the small companies, and you're looking for support on that. So these are the different ways to define the AI maturity, but what is important to actually be able to write the proposal, you need to know what AI can do for you. So that is why AI unaware is not eligible. And same applies for the AI at edge implementation. There is one answer that we need at least like for you to be a little bit aware. So there is one lowest answer that makes the application not eligible about AI at edge, okay? Because the company that will be selected needs to work with the AI talents, that they will be the experts in developing or executing the work, but you need to know on how to speak with them at least, no? So that is why this very minimal knowledge is good to have. And then for the ambition, so as I mentioned, it's important to show the drivers for this AI adoption and how such a use case, no? So if we develop this AI solution with you, how it will improve your business, no? What will change actually? And also, don't be shy. I know it's different because sometimes when you're writing the proposal, you try to like show the best of yourself, but it is important for us to know that you actually understand the challenge. Okay, so that is this confirmation of credibility. So you tell us what is the challenge, and you actually have to tell us why you need our help, especially in case of these AI competent applicants, where we will see that probably you have the competences, but you have to strongly like tell why you need us, and that could be lack of resources or time or any other reasons. Okay, so this is important for us also to justify like why you need help, and that there will be something to do actually with selected applicants during support program. So these are for the excellence. Then for the impact, it's more global view on your application and the use case. So the first is this business operations KPI. If by developing this AI solution, your business will change, you'll get a new customer. So this is very like business plan oriented. Then scalability. So as you know, we want like to like this reusable aspect of Bonsai's marketplace. So this is our end result or end goal. So if you are creating the AI solution that could be used in other, or its element could be used for another generations, like same as we do now from the first open call to the second open call, it is great, and it is a big plus. So think on the potential applications of what you will develop, and think on the like different sectors that will help raise this point of the application. And then also you will see in the guide for applicants, we have made an interview with the Digital Innovation Hub. So we made that consultation with the regional authorities on which sectors can actually benefit most. So you can also take it as an inspiration to see which sectors are like this most demanding from the regions, authorities, EC perspective. That's also helpful, I guess. And then, of course, we are European funded projects, so social, economic, and environmental impacts are very important. So if you can mention that, it will also add the additional points to your evaluation. And then for the implementation, the last one, but still very important. So first you have to introduce your team. So here, as I mentioned, the team of the adopter will work closely with the AI talent and HPC providers, and also will be in direct contact with the BonsAPPs team. So it is important to have the capacity and also time to lead this challenge definition, engaging with AI talents, and have this minimum understanding of the concepts. Then if you have some resources owned, then that will also help in the development. You're more than welcome to include them. And then there are two more questions about use of BonsAI's marketplace. The one that I believe I already covered in the first question. So please try to explain there how, based on the catalog and the beta version and the video from the webinar, how you think you could reuse and which resources. And then there's also a question about the data. So this is what I already mentioned, that we need you to demonstrate the availability of the good quality data. Okay, it could be commercial or no commercial, but we all know it's important aspect in AI. So there's also a question on that will be evaluated. And that's it for I hope that was helpful in case you had some doubts. And as the reminder, the deadline is next Wednesday at 5 p.m. From the technical tips that I don't have on this slide, but what is important that you can submit the application even before the deadline, and you can edit it until the deadline. Okay, so I believe many applicants that we work with, they sometimes submit 2 days before if they have 95% of the application. They keep working and just updating this application just to avoid last minute, that you missed 1 minute and the call is closed, because we are very strict with the hour of the closing of the deadline. So we really advise to not wait until the very last minute, submit 2 days before, or at least in the morning, okay, to avoid the technical problems. And you can also find help. Of course, we have prepared a set of documents like guide that is a must read, frequently asked questions that is very recommended. And then also the BonsAI's marketplace catalog that I consider it's important to understand better the concept. You also have available application form offline that you can use to work on it. And then the subgrant agreement draft, in case you are curious on the legal basis that will be made with those selected adopters, it's also available. So that is it from my side. And I'm sure I see we do not have any more questions in the chat. Guess what, we can wait a little bit if someone wants to ask something else. Okay, I see Luis asking the question about the use case, so I might read it loud. So we have two possible use cases to apply to this open call. One is quite similar to manufacturing challenge that was solved in the first open call, and the other one is a new challenge where we are not sure if there are available AI models and assets in BonsAI's marketplace. So it is not clear for us if we should go with the first one and reuse the tools and service of the BMP, or we should propose a complete new challenge. Okay, here I would say it is more safe to propose the challenge where you can actually reuse provide the justification that you will reuse the BonsAI's marketplace, because if we look on the project scope and project objective, that is like the final our final way to look on this, on the applications. It is super important, no, that it is important for us to have this to reuse the resources. So new changes are more than welcome, but I would say those that reuse the models will get more chance, also because I already mentioned they are more feasible when it comes to the execution in the 6 months of the program, no, than starting from the scratch. So I hope that that answers your question, because indeed you can one company can submit only one challenge. Okay, so this one application, this is also important when thinking about it, but okay, perfect. And we have also another question from Abraham. How best would we engage Africa, in particular East Africa? Well, unfortunately, in this open call is not only European and associated countries are eligible. So unfortunately, the companies from outside of Europe are not eligible for this funding, but I believe there are other opportunities for the dedicated to the African applicants that you can find on the European websites. I don't have now any of these in mind, so sorry for that, but I'm pretty sure there are some particular dedicated to these regions. Another question, would like to use object detection service, but with different data sets. Is this a reuse of this? Is this reuse of this service? Yes, yes. I mean, if you have more doubts about the particular case on like how to use it, you can always send us an email, and we will also try to advise you and guide you through the bonsai marketplace. Okay, so this is something, if you have like very specific question, we can also try to help. But yeah, you can also try to suggest the object detection service with different data sets. It is also a way to go. Yes. Perfect. Don't know if there are any more questions. And if not, well, anyway, as you can see on the slide, if anything pops out, you can always contact us directly on our help desk email, or we also have this open call help desk chat that is public, where you can also ask. And especially I invite you to, like, if you need some help with this bonsai marketplace, how you can reuse it, we are more than welcome to guide you through this, to help you to adjust that. Okay, so from my side for today, it's everything, I believe. So please do not forget that the deadline is next Wednesday at 5 p.m. And in case of any questions, just send us an email. And that's it from my side. So thank you very much, and good luck with your proposals. Thank you.